Jade Cargill's best feud in WWE will not be against Bianca Belair. Stop it.
Get some help.
I know this is a wrestling business where the Japanese girls are put in their own universe and the black men are put in their own universe, and so everybody's assuming that that's going to happen with Jade and Bianca, and it probably will, but it won't be Jade's best feud for a couple reasons. Don't get me wrong, just like Bianca, Jade Cargill is one of the biggest stars in WWE, and Jade hasn't even had her first promo, let alone her first match. WWE is using the old school approach, having her appear in segments with some of its top stars and building anticipation to her debut. Unlike an AEW where she wasted away on Jade Island, WWE is teasing fans with the possibility of all these high-profile feuds that she's about to have. And while the Pavlovian response is to assume that Jade and Bianca are going to be the dream feud, WWE's women's division offers up a plethora of opportunities for Jade to get goated in Stamford. And these will be Jade's top 5 feuds in WWE. Let's start with an honorable mention in Raquel Rodriguez. WWE is all about big, meaty men slapping meat, but what about big, meaty women slapping teats? Okay, we'll work that one out a little bit more, but you know what I mean. WWE finally has a little body diversity among its women, with Raquel, Nia Jax, Rhea Ripley, Piper Niven, and all these big, strong women. So make use of them. WWE doesn't do enough hoss matches with women where they could beat the absolute shit out of each other. And that's what Jade versus Raquel can be. WWE hasn't quite gone all the way with Raquel Rodriguez just yet. Like, she's right there, and all she needs is a perfect opponent. Jade could be that girl. Number 5 is Nia Jax. Now, I know what a lot of people are thinking. Nia can't work. She's not a technical professional wrestler. Nia's gonna hurt Jade. Blah, 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 blah. I would pay to see Nia versus Jade. Pro wrestling is peppered with undersized Caucasian prototypes that are all interchangeable. Can these prototypes have great matches? Yes. Will people outside Twitter Spaces pay to see it? No. Will you remember these work rate matches 3 weeks from now? Hell no. Pro wrestling is about spectacle. These are superheroes. This is a freak show with athletes, a circus with bodybuilders. Give me spectacle. By playing to Jade and Nia's strengths, WWE can get a great feud out of Jade and Nia with some entertaining matches to boot. Just use the type of old school wrestling tactics that made MJF stand out as a white boy goat in AEW among a sea of Caucasians in Jacksonville. Jade Cargill versus Nia Jax wouldn't only be a great spectacle as a match, but between Jade and Nia, all that charisma and self-confidence will lead to some great promo exchanges. Nia can talk up how she came from a respected wrestling bloodline. Jade can say her daddy or cousin didn't have to pick up a phone to get her a job. Her agent did it. Ooh-wee, think of the promos. This is what wrestling is all about, and Jade versus Nia would be better than anything that happens in the Tokyo Dome. Because really, who gives a fuck if you can chop really hard? Tell me a story. Jade Cargill came face to face with Becky Lynch a few weeks ago, and to me, that would be another great feud. Remember when Ronda Rousey and Becky Lynch had that magic as opponents? But they never got around to having that singles match, and now Ronda's in ROH. I don't know, having a midlife crisis? Like, what the hell, Tony? That's Ronda Rousey! What's she doing in ROH? That's not the B show or even the C show. Fuck a grade. It didn't even finish high school. That is the GED show. I'm sure it was Ronda's call to be on ROH, but you'd think Tony Khan would have learned his lesson about letting wrestlers do whatever they want after the whole CM Punk fiasco. Documentary dropping this week, gang gang. Anyway, Jade Cargill can pick up where Ronda Rousey left off with Becky Lynch. Becky has always been pretty punchy on the mic, and she's able to cut pretty deep. I think Becky would be one of the few women who wouldn't be intimidated in a face-to-face promo with Jade. Becky could also help Jade level up in the ring and lead Cargill to some of her best matches. Becky Lynch is pro wrestling's Swiss Army knife. You need Becky to be an underdog babyface and a man of the people? She can be the man. You need her to be a high-maintenance heel? She can be big-time Bex. Not as effective, but it kind of works. You need her to go down to NXT and draw ratings as women's champion? She'll do that too. You need her to main event WrestleMania? Nigga, what's poppin'? Just about anything Becky Lynch touches turns into gold, and that would also apply to the color Jade. Charlotte Flair would be a great feud. In fact, after Charlotte's interaction with Jade a couple weeks ago, I felt like WWE was already building up a program between these two. Both Charlotte and Jade are impressive to look at, and if you get past the skin color, you can argue Jade is more like Charlotte than Bianca. Both have athletic backgrounds and unmistakable charisma. Similarly tall, shredded body types, and both are cocky wrestlers who know they bad. I almost want to see Jade and Charlotte as a tag team more than I want to see them feud. In fact, that's the only reason that this isn't number one. Speaking of women who didn't make number one as Jade's best potential feud, let's talk about Bianca Belair. Yes, Bianca Belair and Jade will make black girl magic together in WWE. They won't have a choice. This is pro wrestling where Swerve and Nana are a thing, and the New Day are a thing, and Lashley and the Street Profits, and the Kabuki Warriors with Io Sky and LWO. Pro wrestling has so many racial groups in isolation, you'd swear it was booked by Jim Crow.
Hold up.
So when Bianca Belair inevitably comes face to face with Jade Cargill, friend or foe, it'll be something to behold. I'm just not holding my breath. Look, I like Triple H. I like the Triple H era. Things are great in WWE, but everybody has a weakness. And one of Triple H's weaknesses as a booker is booking black people. Like, how do you screw up Hit Row? WWE was able to revamp Damage Control as a top stable within a week, yet they're still trying to figure out what to do with Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits after all these months? Booking black people is always going to be an issue in an industry built by and for the whites. So I'm not going to get too excited at the idea of Jade and Bianca just yet. There's so many stories that two black women at this level can tell in a pro wrestling ring, but does WWE have the right people in place to be able to tap into the nuances that could make this story pop? Girl, And the number one feud for Jade Cargill is Rhea Ripley. 2023 has been the year of the final boss in pro wrestling. Roman Reigns, Gunther, Jade Cargill in AEW, and Rhea Ripley. Much like Roman Reigns in 2023, Rhea Ripley's world title reign has been long, but not all that impressive. Rhea has barely defended the title, she barely wrestles, and when she does, everybody knows that whoever she's in the ring with is about to get squashed. This leads to ice-cold buildups between Rhea and her opponents when WWE is trying its best to convince you that her opponent has a chance, like that segment between Rhea and Zoe Stark from Raw. Rhea Ripley needs an alpha female who can not only match her in star power, but also convince fans that she can beat Rhea Ripley and Sun Mommy once and for all. Jade Cargill might be the only woman in WWE who can do that. Her and, of course, Bianca Belair. See, there I go putting black women in groups. Check out this super dope trailer for my CM Punk documentary, The Pipe Bomb Problem, which drops this Friday. It will be goated. What'll be Jade's best feud in WWE? What'll be her first feud? Tell me in the comments!